Yeah. Okay, Winston, you ready? Okay, so we shall officially kickstart. So welcome everyone. So my name is Vern. Okay, I'm sure all of you know me. So like I mentioned, the objective of today's session is to kickstart reading habit, to be accountable, at the same time share knowledge of the book that we have read. If you feel like reading 2 chapters, by all means go ahead, because some chapter tends to be long, some chapter tends to be short. But we are not reading out the chapter per se, but we are giving a summary of the chapter and also sharing 1 or 2 key takeaway from the chapter. So today is agenda number 1. But today is agenda day number 1. Okay, we are going to run through 30 days challenge. So today we just share about your name. Okay, what you do, why you choose the book that you chose, that you want to read, which chapter you have read. Okay, and also the summary and key takeaway. And of us will have around 3 to 5 minutes lah. Okay. But before we kickstart on the summary and takeaway, perhaps you can just through 1 round. Your name, what you do, why you choose this book. Then before we move on to others. So let me see. Just stop this share first. Okay, so probably can start with Clark lah. So Clark, your name, what you do, your trade, and why you choose the book. Then show us the book as well. So remember to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Right.
Hi everyone. Yeah, this is Clark. Yeah, I'm from Finexis. Risk management. Okay, today I just would like to share this book. It's called You Cannot See.
Because of virtual background. Okay, tell us what's the name of the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the title of the book is called Mindset. It's the new psychology of success. And why I show this chapter, because I get to know this book because of one of the businessmen. He always try to share some ideas, and he thought of this book. Then try to share with us. Then I go and buy this book and start to read. And initially, I really don't read very much. Then after I flip through a few pages, I find this book's quite interesting. First, this book is for parenting, business, or school, or even relationship can be used. And right now, I only managed to read first chapter. And yeah, seriously.
That's nice.
Okay. And this book is basically talk about mindset. Some people have a fixed mindset. Some people have a growth mindset. Then recently, I just get to know that my daughter in the school, the teacher also tried to share about the growth mindset. Okay.
Oh,
and
nice.
This chapter at the very beginning is try to tell us why different
Hold on. So we just share why you choose this book. Then we after that go back to you. What's it about? Okay. So Andrea, share your name, your trade, and what is the book that you're going to share with us today?
Okay, I share. Oh yeah, you never let me share screen. I cannot. Mine is virtual one.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay. You can share the title.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm in Prudential Financial Consultant. Today I picked the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. Yeah. So the subtitle is How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. So I want to thank Vern for inviting me. Now I will never read this book.
Yeah. So why you chose this book? Why you chose this book?
Because a lot of people say it's very good. Then I okay, it's very good, so I go and download. Then I thought that I will feel very psychologically better by downloading.
You feel more intelligent and at the same time more confident.
But now you force me to read already, right? Then I feel even more intelligent. So thank you for inviting me. Yeah. So that's my book.
Next we have Winston. Winston, okay, share with us what book you chose and why, and also share what you do as well.
Okay, hi, I'm Vincent. I'm an anti-aging consultant. So I chose the book by Dale Carnegie, the How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because I think learning how to communicate effectively with people is a very important skill. So with this skill, right, we can have a better family life, a better career, and better interpersonal relationship. Yeah. So that's why I chose this book.
Okay, very good. Okay, how about Michelle? Michelle, share with us.
Hi,
your name, your trade. Okay.
Michelle. Hi, I'm Michelle, and I am in real estate. Actually, I chose the book. Actually, I also reading ebook from mobile phone. So it's the book called The Power of Now. So why I chose this book is because many a times when we are using our analytical mind to think about things, and then we always put our ego above everything. So instead of doing that, I want to embrace inner change and transformation for myself, and also to free instead of letting the mind control our thoughts. I want to, this book actually help us to understand also how to get enlightenment into the state of consciousness, and then to sustain in everyday's life by not letting our mind control our thoughts, but rather than using our heart to, to do everything in real estate, or let's say in financial services, etc. Yeah. So
Okay.
I just started reading this book because previously I'm reading other books. So today I want to share this. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So how about Angela?
Hi, my name is Angela. I'm an accountant by profession, so I run my own accounting practices as well. So a book that I chose is Leading Change. Okay, so Leading Change actually is Leading Change That Matters actually is written by a Singapore author. He is also a business owner as well, and his name is Mr. Tan Kin Leng. So his business that he's running is called KDI, and the first time that I met him, I was only 2 years in my business, and then after I left his office, he gave me this book. That is Imagine, that was around in 2018. Yeah. So up to today, actually, I haven't read the book that he has given to me. So since Vern said that I read a book or a chapter, so this is on my bookshelf, and it is actually facing me every day. That means my back is the book is looking at my back. So I said, okay, so I picked this book. So it's about leading change that matters. That's me. In fact, right now, in this pandemic and unprecedented times, this is times where we need to change our norm. What we used to be in comfort, and we need to change into a different form of doing what we used to know. Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. So yeah, very good. Welcome to the club. Yeah.
Yep.
So for myself, I'm reading this book. Okay. By John C. Maxwell. Good leader asks great question. And the reason why I asked, I quite like this book because a lot of time we tend to talk more, but to really understand, to really get the potential out from the person, we really need to ask questions. So I just read the first chapter. Actually, I should write until half already, but I put it aside for a longer period of time. So that's why coming back to the first chapter, I actually got a lot more because we are focusing on one chapter. We're not focusing on give a summary of the whole book, but rather focusing on a summary per chapter. So that's why I get a lot interesting stuff today. So later I'll share with you more about that. Okay, who is this guy? Someone suddenly entered. Okay, so probably start with Clark. Okay, your book. Give us in probably 3 to 4 minutes a summary of your chapter and some of the key takeaway from that chapter. And which chapter are you reading now?
I read the first chapter today. Okay.
Okay.
Brings the okay. Okay. Then this chapter probably is this book is basically trying to share with us with put it simple. There's a fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and why people will act differently. And from the old days, some people will say because of due to the size of the skull, and until today we call it genes. And some people will try to share. Some people will tell us some people can act very much better is because of their IQ. And this author is trying to tell us that basically it's because of the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And fixed mindset is we always care about how people will look at us. Normally we will question ourselves, will I succeed or fail? Will I look smart or dumb? Will I be accepted or rejected? This is the characteristic of our fixed mindset. But the growth mindset is based on the belief that basically the qualities that we can cultivate through our efforts and strategies. Yeah. And how to say that?
I'll go next. I'll give the example.
Okay, then so what's new about this book trying to tell us nothing ventured, nothing gained, and some people believe in nothing venture, nothing gain. Rome wasn't built in a day. This is basically the characteristic of the growth mindset. And some people will tell us, if at first you don't succeed, you probably don't have the ability. And if Rome was not built in the day, maybe it was not meant to be. So some people, if have this kind of characteristic, they are supposed to call it the fixed mindset. But it was the fixed mindset who account for almost all the inaccuracy. This is what the author tried to share with us. So, and at the end of this chapter, he's asking 4 questions. Maybe you can try to answer yourself with this 4 basic questions. If you believe that you are a certain kind of person and there's nothing much you can be done or really can change that, this is the first question. Then second is no matter what kind of person you are, you can always change substantially. Then third, you can do things differently, but the important parts of who you can't really be changed. Fourth, you can always change basic things about the kind of person you are. So if you will answer yes on the first and third, you are fixed mindset. And you will answer yes for second and fourth, you will have the growth mindset. So the fixed mindset makes you concerned with how you will be judged. The growth mindset makes you concerned with improving. So this is the first chapter.
Okay, fantastic. Well done. Okay, congratulations on finishing your first chapter. Okay, so I'll go next, lah. Okay, yeah, so we'll give Clark a big round of applause. How many chapters are there for this book?
Total, I think I also didn't. Total 8 chapters.
8 chapters, so by day 8 you should have finished this book already, lah. Okay, so my book, okay, like I mentioned, Good Leader Asks Great Questions. So the first chapter is actually why are questions so important. I think this set the fundamental. And happened that today is actually World Communication Day, all right, if I'm not wrong. So basically it started off, why we ask questions, because answering question allow us to share what's in our heart. I think that's the first very important thing. And there are basically 8 values to actually asking questions. And successful leaders have to put asking questions as part of their lifestyle. So the first reason is basically, as long as you ask, you get answer. So there's no stupid question. There's no, as long, you rather ask to get the answer rather than afraid, putting your ego aside, okay? So it's very, very important. Rather you become, rather you look uninformed than to be uninformed, okay? So most important thing is to ask a profound question, because when you ask profound question, the right question, you actually get the more concise answer. And secondly, question also open door to opportunity. So when you know the person better, you basically know him or her better in terms of experience, in terms of any business opportunity that you may be able to get. So asking question also open up opportunity. And successful leader also relentlessly ask question. Okay, so they want to pick the brain of the person that you're actually meeting with. And the third one is that questions are the most effective means of connecting people. Communication starts with this Latin phrase called communis. In English, it's actually commonality. Commonality means to say that as you want to, effective communication means to say that the best way to actually link up the person is to have some common ground. Okay, and that can be through asking questions, because questions connect people. So imagine you go to on stage, you want to give public speaking, or you want to meet up with someone, right? You may want to ask some questions that connects you, such as say, yeah, same here, me too. Okay, imagine immediately there'll be some commonality to connect you with him or her. And of course, questions cultivate humility, because sometimes when you ask questions, it's like, wow, I know everything already. Why should I ask questions? It sounds like, hey, I don't know. But in actual fact, it makes us understand that there are certain weaknesses that we have. So by asking questions, it also allows us to be humble, at the same time authentic, because people like to be with people who are authentic, who are honest, who are real, I would say. And of course, question help us to engage others in conversation. Okay, and the question is actually the best way to actually have conversation, because sometimes you ask a good question, right? You actually get them to actually also communicate with you. One of the questions that is actually the best question that John C. Maxwell loves is actually the word why. So when a person say, I just left my job. So why do you leave your job? When the person say a lot of things, you ask him why. Okay. So allow you to actually open up, continue the conversation as well. So, and of course, when you meet up someone, you may want to create some questions as well so that you can evaluate them. You also want to pick their brain. So if you're meeting your customer, other than talking about your product and services, you may want to prepare some questions to ask them too. All right. And question allows us to build better ideas, because when we share ideas or share some questions, share thought, all of us will come together to build it, to give better ideas, to give even more, so they can build even better from a foundation from one question. And of course, over here, question also give us different perspective, because we are fixated. Just like Clark was talk about fixated mind. So we are very fixated. At the same time, we also only looking at things at probably one angle. So what we want is that we want to listen to other people's perspective, because a lot of times we have miscommunication because we all have different assumptions. So we want to align everyone by asking questions to make sure there's no miscommunication, there's no those are misassumptions, okay, so that we are all together in one boat, okay, looking at the same thing basically. So we have different perspective, and it challenges our mind, okay, so we are not stagnant. And I think the most important thing over here is question is life-changing. So I'm not sure who has asked you questions that actually changed your life, but John C. Maxwell has top 10 questions that changed his life. I just probably pick a few, okay. One is, what do you want to do with your life? That's what his dad asked him. So do you know that you are a leader? So one of his mentor asked him, okay, do you have plan for personal growth? What could we do differently? By his brother, okay. What will you do with the second half of your life? Okay. And of course, he has also asked questions to other people that changed his life too. So what he asked? He asked his mom, how much do you love me? Okay. He also asked his pastor, how do you build great church? He asked one of the author's friend, he asked, why do you write book? Before he even become author himself. Okay. And also he asked, Dad, can I have your blessing to lead this organization? Okay. And another one, he also mentioned, Kelvin, can I mentor you? So these are some of the questions that he also asked other people that also transform himself. So at the end of the day, right, questions allow us to see things differently, okay? It's also a way to mark the way how we grow, how we have positive change, positive direction, and at the same time lead to many, many successes. Okay, that's from chapter 1. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on to Andrea. Andrea, can you share?
So fast. Okay. So I haven't even reached chapter 1. I'm still at the before chapter 1. What's that called?
No problem. You share the
prelude.
Prelude. Okay.
Prologue,
Yeah, I can share
yeah.
as well.
Okay.
Share as well.
Yeah, okay. So today I read, right? Wow, then I read a few times just to give my sharing. Yeah. Okay. So this start with why, right? The prologue, they actually say why start with why, and he actually gave some example. And the most interesting example they gave, right, is actually Apple product. So they were saying that okay, so Apple, right, when Steve Jobs joined Apple, he's 21 years old. And Jobs actually proved to be much more better than a good salesperson, because he wanted to do something significant in the world and build a company was how he was going to do it. And Apple was the tool he used to ignite his revolution. So in that first year of business, right, with only one product, Apple made $1 million in revenue. By year 2, they made $10 million in sales. And by the 4th year, they sold $100 million worth of computers. By 6 years, right, and in just 6 years, Apple Computer was $1 billion company with over 3,000 employees. So Jobs and Woz, is it Woz? He's another partner. No, that's not the partner. Let me see. Oh yeah, Woz, W-O-Z, right, designed the Apple one. So Woz and Jobs, right, is actually not the only people taking part in the personal computer revolution at that point of time. And they are not the only smart guys in the business. So actually, they don't know anything about business at all. But what makes Apple special is that they have been able to repeat the pattern over and over again. And unlike their competitors, Apple has successfully challenged conventional thinking within the computer industry. the small electronics industry, the music industry, the mobile phone industry, and the broader entertainment industry. And the reason is actually very simple. They inspire and they start with why. So I think all these details will actually go, the Simon Sinek will actually go more into details later on. And let me see, some more. I just now read something. Then they also compared to General Motors. So actually General Motors, GM, right, they successfully motivated people to buy their products, that they sold more cars than any other automakers in the world for over 77 years. And although they are the leaders in their industry, but they did not lead. So great leaders, in contrast, are able to inspire people to act. So they inspire people to act, right? These people actually have it doesn't have to do with external incentive or benefits to gain. It gives them a purpose or belonging. Yeah, as a great leader lah. So it ends off with, right, to be a great leader, our goal, right, is to offer you the course of action and to offer you a challenge. So that's why they say great leaders always have to start with why. Yeah, so that's all I read from this book.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Definitely very important, because in any of the organization, right, I think the why is also very important, because when your customer, your consumer, your friends are buying the same why, there's a commonality, right? Immediately they will tend to support you as well. Yeah. So, okay, you also can think about why you are in your business, okay? Just like Clark, Angela, Michelle, why are you doing what you're doing now? So it's also another good way to actually share with your customers, share with your friends, okay? So how about Vincent? What do you have?
Okay, so I'm only at chapter 1 of the book. So chapter 1 is talking about the fundamental techniques in handling people. So it's basically all, okay, so they are talking about criticism. So criticism is futile because it puts a person on a defensive mode and make him strive to justify himself. And then the criticism is dangerous because it will wound his pride and then arouse resentment. So he will make you don't like you. So this resentment, right, demoralizes people, and yet they don't solve the situation at all. And they are like homing pigeons. So they will come back and haunt us in the future. Because usually the person we try to correct, right, will defend himself and condemn us in return. So the book also mentioned about Abraham Lincoln. So he's one of the greatest leaders. So he practiced this rule. But when he was young, right, he often criticized and ridiculed people. So until one time, right, he had to duel with someone because he criticized or ridiculed a politician or something. So after that, he learned his lesson. Then from then on, he changed. Then in the Civil War, right, there was a general that screwed up. He did not follow his instruction, right, which could have ended the war. So he wrote a very passive-aggressive letter to him, but he never ever mailed it out. So his thought process could be that if he sent out a letter, it might relieve him of his disappointment and frustrations, but it will not make the situation any better. Then the general will probably feel very affected and will impair his future ability as a general. So that's why he chose not to send the letter to the general in the end. So any fools can complain, criticize, or condemn, but it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. So instead of condemning people, so let's try to understand them and try to figure out why they do what they do. And it will yield a better result than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. So yeah, that's chapter 1 of the book. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vincent. In actual fact, it's also about parenting. A lot of times I also angry with my kids. So my daughter is just next to me. Hello. So I need to put myself in their shoes. Okay.
Correct.
Why are you doing it? Yeah. So same thing. Okay. Okay, just we have 10 more minutes just in case it suddenly drop out, then we just come back again. Okay, come, Michelle.
Oh, okay. I'm also in the first chapter of the book. So in this first chapter of the book, actually it bring out to gain awareness of being oneself. All right. So this is in the natural state of being felt oneness with being lah, B-E-I-N-G. So the whole chapter is trying to say that because our mind is always thinking a lot of things, so we want to free our minds from all sort of, especially bad thoughts. All right. So, but because our mind cannot stop thinking, so this whole chapter is trying to tell us how to free ourselves from our mind, so that when the thoughts subside, we don't let all the bad thoughts control our mind, you see. So then we can slowly, this is something also I learned from NLP, also similar to meditation, where we try to find peace within ourselves. And then we try to be fully present. That means fully present to do what we want, you see, rather than to let our mind to tell us, because our mind always wanders a lot. So to be fully present, we only focus on one thing. Yeah. So this is one part of it. So the second part of it is also talking about our body reaction to our emotion. And our emotion is actually also controlled by our mind. So actually from our mind, our body will be able to react to, or will use our body to reflect the truthful emotions, reflection, how we look at, how we feel, you know. Of course, there are also other parts like because our mind is also, we're using our mind to identify many concepts, labels, images, etc. So this will actually, how do I put it? Because it's actually very, this is actually a very, we are using a lot of, if I put in my own words, I'm using a lot of, we don't want to let our thoughts, we want to free ourselves from our thoughts that will control our mind. And then we want to reach that enlightenment stage to find consciousness, and also to be able to get into a sense of recognition within ourselves. So it's difficult to explain because there are a lot of, because this book, right, it actually has a question that is put up by the author, and then it reflects. We do a lot of reflection through storytelling. So there are pauses in the chapter that let us think, to do self-reflection, and then to free our mind, to do to self-recognize, to tell ourselves that we should not be thinking of probably, let's say, negative things, to let the anger overpower us, for example, that kind of thing. Yeah. This is just the first chapter. I mean, this is just the first chapter, what we want, the author try to explain how we want to free ourselves from our mind and don't let our emotion overtake, overtake whatever reaction we want to put across.
Okay, no worries. Next time, if actually can't explain, you can use Chinese, no problem. You can use 成语, 谚语, whatever you. Okay, before we move on to Angela, okay, can we take a group photo shoot first before it makes up? Okay, come, smile. Okay, Angela, you have 5 minutes plus. Come.
Okay, my books okay. For this books, there are in total 10 chapters. So the first chapter is about it's all about leadership role change in each phase of the model. So in each phase of the model, in each phase there is a model. So I would say refrain change. So the leadership need to knows that you want to change the people below you or the people around the stakeholder need to reframe the change, and they need to recognize that change is a constant, and they also need to overcome the resistance and empower change. So in chapter 1 is about reframe change and recognize change as a constant. So recognize change as a constant, the way that they put it is you need to know the key attributes of empowering change. So that means you need to know that our works actually and the organization, we are all in a global state that we don't work just solely just in Singapore. We also need to work with people globally as well, and even some emerging countries. So we need to manage that change. So when we manage change, we are able to facilitate, okay, or implement projects that we want to do with them. And we need to also to commit the alignment with all the different stakeholders as well. And communication, as what everybody have also said, that we need to also focus on the communication and get all expectations and concern from all the key stakeholders pinned down early. So that, okay, so of course, next we need to also model a culture of encouragement that build trust, support, and commitment to implement that change if we want to change. And we need to also acknowledge people resistant, okay, but we need to listen consciously why they what is their fear, and we address their concern effectively so that people will on board early on the change. And once their differences of opinion have been listened and honored, we were able to frame them, and everybody is on alignment. And of course, we are not trying to exploit them, but in fact is to involve them either directly or indirectly, whatever their job is or description their job is, even to the down very low level, just a clerk, it needs to be there. And the leadership need to spread their enthusiasm across to the rest of the organization as well. So in this chapter 1, I would say the key takeaway is this: that means everybody need to have the kinds of eagerness to learn, courage to try, and shrewdness to inspire, and desire to influence, and of course the last but not least is the resilience in dealing with the peaks and the valleys. So this is what the first chapter is trying to talk about. Reframe change.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Wow, today quite a number of team stuff going on. Okay, we still have 2 more minutes. Okay, so basically I think in short, so what we can do tomorrow, so we continue the next chapter. So for Andre, you start with your first chapter. After reading it, right, of course, we still give a summary. At the same time, can give something that's relatable to you. Because sometimes the book we read can be relatable to your industry, to what you are doing. Then we can also learn how can we apply it to our business. Because all of us over here are more of the professional. We're not working for a company, but rather we are on our own, self-employed. So how can we use all whatever we learn in our business so you can share? And if you've got some breakthrough from the book itself, do share with us as well. So I will structure this agenda accordingly. So Andrea, you'll be using your Zoom tomorrow onward, is it? Okay. So Andrea has offered her paid Zoom account. Okay, so at least we are not stranded by the 40 minutes. But that being said, today is fantastic because we are coming down to 40 minutes soon. Okay, so with that, have a great night. Okay, I'll kickstart.
If we use the paid one, means it will be more than 40 minutes.
No problem. So we'll keep to around 15 minutes or so. But I'll kickstart a chat group. I'll kickstart a chat group. So we'll work the chat group. So okay, I'll record